There was an article on the news this morning talking about how people are really struggling with having to be working at home, not having the right desk area or the right setup. So they're getting, you know, sort of sedentary work-related issues in their body, their biomechanics. So I'm going to show you what I do to keep healthy, how I keep stretched in the right positions, in the right way. I'm a sports massage therapist. I've also broken my neck. I've used to have chronic sacroiliac problems, so much so that I had to actually wear a corset to hold things together. I've also had terrible RSI in my hands, so much so that I couldn't even move my fingers. It was agonizing. So I'm going to share with you what I do to stay healthy, to work from home, how my whole setup is arranged, so that if you want some extra help, then follow along. So first and foremost, it's the neck area and the shoulders which suffer, I would say, the most. Daily, you need to be doing just gentle neck stretches. So keep your mouth closed, up and down a few times. Oh, it feels lovely. I always do this after I've done my daily workout, and if I don't have a workout day, I stretch. So I'm doing this at least once every day. And then you want to move your head around, side to side. Now, some people say pull it across too. If you have a very tight neck, you might actually make it go into a spasm. So unless you stretch out regularly, I wouldn't recommend pulling at all, not to begin with. Another stretch that I do, which is incredibly beneficial, but again, see how it feels, is what you need to do is have your arm pointing down and stretching, so you can actually feel a stretch across here. Then you are just going to take the side of your head there and pull it over a little bit. That should not put any major pressure on your neck as it is. And then you're going to rotate your chin down to your armpit like that. And that is really good, stretching out the back of the neck muscles. And then of course, whatever you do on one side, repeat on the other. Down. And next, I'm going to show you some chest opening stretches. So for chest opening stretch, you're going to clasp your hands behind you. You're going to pull your shoulders back, stick your chest out, and you're going to just pull down with your hands like that. And that helps to open up this area, which when we're sitting down for long times, results in rounded shoulders because we're all sat like that, looking like tortoises. We need to open that up. These muscles at the back are normally stretched too far because of how we're sitting. So you need to open this area up. So do this. And you can actually pull these hands up a little, and that will increase that stretch. And just hold that for a few seconds. For each of these stretches, you probably want to be holding them sort of 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds if you can manage it. Next one, we're going to be doing our hip flexors and our thigh muscles, because again, when we're sat down a lot, they get really tight and they get shortened, which can then put more stress on your lower back and your gluteals. So first and foremost, what you want to do, you might need to balance, hold onto a chair or something. What you want to do is you bring, if you can, grasp with both feet. Keep your knees together is incredibly important, otherwise you won't get as good a stretch. And you want to tilt your pelvis forward, so like that, not like this, but like that. Hold your tummy in, and that will help you balance. It's really important that we stretch out our glutes, our quads, so that because we're sitting down for such long periods of time, they get short. And then on the next stretch, I'm going to show you the most amazing hip flexor stretch. It's just brilliant. For this hip flexor stretch, you can either use a roller or you can use a core ball. I use them both. I actually personally prefer the ball. I find I get more of a stretch. But as more of you would like to have a roller at home, I'm going to show you both. So we'll start with the roller. So put the roller on the floor. And you're literally, put it under your bum. This leg is going to be engaged, so it's going to be floating off the floor, and this one, you're going to pull it up to your chest, which is going to give you a nice inner thigh stretch. But most importantly, you're going to have a lovely stretch over here, which is going to help stretch out your hip flexors. You really want to do your hamstrings at the same time. Ugh, lift this up. My hamstrings are incredibly tight. I don't have much movement in mine at all, but you'll find you get a better hip flexor stretch if you keep your knee down here. And then in, and then the other one. Keep your core, keep your abs nicely engaged, and just feel that stretch over there. This leg is floating off the floor, it's not collapsed down on the floor. Doesn't really make that much difference. I actually just feel you get more of a stretch when you engage the muscles of this leg too, by holding it up. I'll also show you on the ball. So on the ball, again, it goes underneath your bum. What I would suggest with the ball is you hold it with one hand. I'll do that leg so you can see it's easier. And again, just hold the ball. It's just something underneath you to lift your bum off the floor. If you haven't got a roller or a ball, use a couple of towels, something like that. Or a pillow, in fact. If you fold a pillow over in half, that would also do. Another good hip flexor stretch is the runner's lunge. So what you want to do, go into like a lunge position. So you've got your leg outside of your arms. You want to keep your glute, your bum muscles fired up. You want to keep them squeezed and pushing your hips down, so hips down towards the ground. And you'll feel a nice stretch across here, the hip flexors. You'll feel a really good stretch on your inner thigh there as well. And hold that for 30 seconds if you can. And then you would repeat on the other side, just to make this stretch even more effective, particularly if you're tight in your back. Rotate up like this. Now this will also add an extra stretch in here around your glutes. So you're doing your hip flexor, the inside of your thigh, your glutes, and you're increasing rotation in your back. You can even feel, if you really stretch up to the ceiling, you can also feel a stretch in your arms. I love this one. Another great stretch when you're at your desk is, I would say twice a day, if you're on a chair, just sit up, nice high posture, and just pull round. Use your chair to actually enable you to twist round. It's a really good stretch for your middle back. You often get a nice crack. I love that crack. Oh. Right, okay. Next, I'm going to show you how I set up my workspace. First and foremost, it's really important that if you've got a laptop or your computer, it needs to be, your screen needs to be at head height so that you're not looking down. You want to be able to have a, directly in front of you. So this, you can see it's on a little stand. I bought that for about £12 off Amazon. But if you've not got a stand, you can use books, boxes, all sorts of things. I've also got it's a Microsoft ergonomic keyboard, so you can see it's actually shaped. It did take me a little while to get used to using it, but this made the biggest difference when I was typing. So for instance, our hands should not be like this. So on my laptop, you're like this. Your hand actually naturally should be at a slight angle. So this, when you're typing, it literally it's so quick to get used to, made the biggest difference to my RSI. And then I also I've got a gel mouse pad, wrist pads, because it supports your wrist. And then I've got an ergonomic Logitech MX Master mouse. This thing is fantastic. I absolutely swear by it. It's an MX Master 2S. This mouse, combined with this, combined with this, combined with this stand, has completely transformed how I work. The keyboard was around about the £80–90 mark. The mouse, I think that was about 80 quid. Gel mat, about £12. Stand was about £12. But think about it. The pain that you get from RSI, it's not fun. It means you can't work, particularly if you work for yourself like I do. When I'm not able to work efficiently and productively and enjoy it because I'm in pain, it slows down my productivity. So it's a bit like having a mattress. Again, I could talk to you till I'm blind or blue in the face about good bedding and good pillows. Like I said, I broke my neck. It's really important that I have a good supportive pillow that has is bouncy enough. I use actually a Dunlop pillow. They're expensive, but they're worth it. My mattress, again, it's expensive. It's a really good mattress with a memory foam topper, but it's worth it. The amount of time you spend in your bed, it's so important that you have good posture when you're lying down too. So, you know, people, they say, oh, I couldn't afford that for a pillow or a mattress or an ergonomic keyboard or a mouse. But they go out, they get their nails done, they get their lashes done, they get their hair done, they get their beauty wraps, they buy their new cars, and then they complain that the health system can't look after them. I'm a bit of a brute force one on this. It's up to us to take responsibility for our lives and how we feel and our welfare. There are so many things that we can do ourselves to improve the situation. So get those stretches done. If you're struggling, stretch every day. If you're finding that your workspace is leading to various physiological issues, change it. It doesn't cost that much money. It's well worth it. You may even find if you're working from home, your employer will help you with that, with the costs of just upgrading your workspace. RSI is agonizing. I had it really badly. I didn't do anything else. I just changed how I was working with my ergonomic setup. Now I don't get any pain at all. So I hope that helps.